Happy Friday, we got a great show for you. So great, Sarah brought her best outfit today. Criminals using plastic surgery not just to change their identity, but their ethnicity. What? Next, does running make you age faster? And lastly, Bette Midler's plastic surgery revelations coming up right now.
Live from Lincoln Center in the heart of the Dallas Metroplex, this is Nip Talk. An honest and uncensored show about plastic surgery, health, beauty, and lifestyle with your host, plastic surgeon Dr. Bruce Hermann, and your co-host, entrepreneur and social media influencer Sarah Bennett. Now it's time to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of the topics everyone is talking about. It's time for Nip Talk.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, plastic surgeon Dr. Bruce Hermann. With me, Sarah Bennett.
Hello.
In the box, we got Travis. What's up, man?
What's happening? What's going on?
Not much. I haven't cracked up during the opening in a while. Like, Sarah started laughing, and
I wasn't expecting. Usually, you tell me whenever you're gonna say something weird or
well, I
silly.
like to, sometimes catch you off guard. But
Yeah,
I do love your outfit.
Thank you.
You ad-libbed the outfit part. That caught us off guard. It was funny though.
Now, did you get this from your store, or did you get this?
Yeah.
Oh, you
I
got
did.
this from the store.
Yeah, this was from this whole outfit's from the fall.
Oh, is it?
But
I love it.
I thought it was so
It's just
cute.
so unique. It's like a conversation piece.
Yeah. These pants are super
They're like-
cute. They're velvet.
Oh, velvet.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
and they're
velour.
flared. Yeah.
Yeah, flared velvet.
Yeah.
They're awesome, and the shirt matches perfectly.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
groovy.
I love your shirt. Now, you had your competition last week.
I did. So,
And-
but I've been having them every Friday for the past 2 weeks, and my next one is today.
Wow, like so, but it's like a team thing, right? It's your gym.
Yeah, it's my gym. So our gym has two separate teams, so black and a red team.
Okay.
My team is losing. Last year we
Wait,
won.
are you guys competing against each other or other gyms?
Just each other. It's in-house.
Oh,
Yeah.
in-house. Okay.
So it's not
Yeah.
like super big deal. But I mean, it's interesting.
Right.
It's difficult for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. I remember the CrossFit days. Yeah, they're a lot of fun, but
Yeah.
they can definitely be challenging. And do you guys, what's like with the craziest like event you did in that? Like anything weird, like flipping tires uphill or?
No, never flipping tires uphill, but there's definitely, I think one of the weirdest movements in CrossFit or not weirdest, but like the hardest is probably a snatch, and that's what we're doing.
Snatch. I'm not familiar with that. I remember like
It's like a wide grip,
Uh-huh.
and you have to lift it up over your head.
So like a clean and jerk?
Almost.
Yeah.
But you don't have the clean part.
Okay.
So instead of holding it right here, it's all.
Oh, you just all in one motion.
Yeah,
Oh,
all
got
one
it. Okay.
motion. So it's a little
That
bit
makes
more
sense.
difficult, and so that's one of the skills that we're doing today is a snatch, wall walks, and double unders with a jump rope, of course.
Man.
So it's a lot of shoulders today.
Yeah. You're gonna be sore this week.
Yeah, my wrists are gonna hurt really bad. I'm gonna have to wrap my wrists.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
I do that
weight
when
on my
when I
wrists.
used to lift weights a lot, I would always wear the gloves with the wrist, so the bars wouldn't like pull your
Yes.
hands off. I
Yeah,
need
I
my
have those,
hands.
too.
No one wants to go to a plastic surgeon named Captain Hook.
No. Your hands can get ripped up. I have
Oh, yeah.
pretty good
Yeah, get calluses. I always
I
get these
have
bad
some
calluses
man
right here.
calluses for sure.
You're a tough girl, Sarah,
For sure.
but with a great outfit.
Yeah.
All right, Travis,
Gotta
you have a
be.
good week, man. Everything good with you?
I did. My week was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad at all.
Nothing too exciting?
Yeah, nothing too exciting, nothing too bad though.
All right, excellent. Yeah, I didn't have anything too exciting. I may go to a concert tonight. Like Muse and Evanescence are playing tonight.
Oh,
And
that's
I
cool.
just found out today, and so it's like I kind of have something going on, but I may see if like I can get my wife or even my
Yeah.
daughter to go.
Oh, I have something exciting to say. I mean, I guess kind of exciting.
Okay, please.
My store is going to do permanent jewelry like in-house. Before we used to have like a separate.
Permanent jewelry.
Yeah, so it's like welding. So I have these bracelets on my wrist.
Oh, the ones
but
you don't
there's
take off.
Yeah, there's no clasp.
Yeah, I remember you've told me about these.
Yeah.
So are you doing that? Or
Yeah,
you
so my store is going to own the company that's inside my
Nice,
my
that's
store.
exciting.
Yeah, so it's cool.
And that's
It's
kind of
called
like the big
Golden
thing
Light.
right now,
Yeah.
like correct with like fashion, like permanent jewelry.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Well, if you're in Denton,
Yeah.
please check out Rosenthal.
I'm excited.
Yeah, awesome. I'm gonna come see it. I'm probably not gonna get it myself, but
You're not gonna get like a cute little anklet.
I have this thing. So I don't wear rings or necklaces or watches. I have this things about like constricting.
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah,
it.
that's pretty. These are permanent.
Yeah, I would probably.
Technically.
That'd be like my own personal health. Not that it's not beautiful and
Yeah.
lovely, but
Yeah.
for me, no.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also too with like scrubbing, and surgery. I almost lost my wedding ring one time when I was scrubbing because it fell and it rolled like down the hall, and so I kind of quit wearing it. And then I just don't really like the constriction stuff. So.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. Love it.
Yeah.
I'll say
I'm excited.
I'm gonna come see it. All right, well, let's roll into our first topic. And so this is one we kind of have done in the past. I think this is actually before your time. I think we did this one before you were here, and it's similar. So there was actually a news article this past week about a criminal who used plastic surgery not just to change his identity, but his whole ethnicity.
Oh, I remember we did one about a chick
Yes. Oh, you were here.
that changed her face.
Okay, that must have been one of your.
But it really wasn't that big of, like, there was not that much of a
Right, yeah, that one's
difference.
pretty
I think
subtle.
she might have had a nose job and that was it.
That's right. So we're going to talk about criminals, using plastic surgery to change their ethnicity. And so you were right. We did talk about someone in the past, and I wanted to bring her back up just so that in case anyone missed that segment. Can you throw up that next picture there, Travis? That's Caitlin Armstrong. She actually murdered pro cyclist Mariah Wilson, and she went on the run. She evaded the federal authorities for like a month and a half by going to Costa Rica, and she had a nose job. And so you can kind of see, like in the right picture, that her nose is a little bit more small at the tip and a little bit more shaped. Like they brought in her nostrils a little bit. I mean, but she does look pretty similar. So that's the girl that we were talking about in the past.
Yeah.
And I thought that was before, because that was back in September. That was pretty far back. That might have been one of your first shows, I think.
Yes, it was.
But this guy that was in the news this past week, he went the extra mile, because not only did he change his identity or his appearance, but he changed his whole ethnicity. So the story's pretty interesting. So this past week, there was this good-looking Korean guy. His name was Jimin Song, and he was arrested in Bangkok, Thailand for smuggling and distribution of MDMA, which is ecstasy.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of, is ecstasy still a thing? I thought that was like a 90s thing. Is it making a comeback? Does anyone know? No? Anybody?
I guess.
I haven't heard.
Yeah, Travis would know.
He would not.
I don't know. I
He would
remember
not
the
know.
90s, ecstasy was a thing in the 90s. And then I thought it kind of went out of vogue, and I thought fentanyl. Anyway, all right. So, well, it is Thailand. Maybe the drugs in Thailand are different. I don't know.
Shoot, I don't know.
So anyway, sorry to derail the whole conversation here, but Jimin Song was basically arrested. He was a Korean guy, and come to find out that was not his real name. Jimin Song is not a real person, and nor was this guy actually Korean. His real name, throw up that next picture. So that's Jimin Song. And I'm not super, I don't want to tread on anyone's feet. I mean, I think that guy looks Korean. I have to say I'm not an expert on the, specific facial features of each, subdialect of the
really
Asian
young.
cultures. But he was young. He's in his 20s. But I mean, to me, that guy looks Korean. I'm like, okay, Korean. I get that. Well, he's not actually Korean, and his name's not Jimin Song. His name is Saharat Sawangjang. And he's actually from Bangkok. He's actually Thai, and what he did is he was a drug smuggler. He was wanted, and he vanished, just mysteriously vanished. The police knew this guy, and they were trying to arrest him, and suddenly they couldn't find him.
Yeah.
And because he had numerous plastic surgeries to change his face, and actually was trying to look Korean to throw people completely off. And there's the next picture, Travis. Throw up that next one. So this is the pictures of him. Kind of these were, I guess, when he was arrested the first time as a Thai national, and then at the end when he looks Korean, and he does look.
Well, his acne cleared up.
Yeah, I know. You probably had some laser treatments.
Way to be glass half full, Sarah.
That's right.
Glass half full.
That is half full. Yes, sir. Thank you.
It does look like he started losing his hair though. So.
I think he did that on purpose. He said that they completely changed his hairstyle.
Way to be glass half empty that time, Sarah. Glass half empty that time.
Our glasses are filling and emptying very quickly on today's episode. But no, the thing I would point out is that not only does it look like a different person, it does look like a different ethnicity.
He does.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty amazing, honestly, that he went to that that level of dedication to change his identity. I guess it did work, because when they arrested the guy, Jim and Song, they didn't know it was him.
Yeah.
The problem was he changed his identity, and he still kept being a criminal, and then he got arrested as his new identity.
Yeah.
But like, it actually worked, because
I think he looks better.
I do think he looks better. Yeah.
So whoever did his plastic surgery.
Right. That was some like good.
Good job.
Some good identity.
Hopefully
I just have never seen anyone really like change their ethnicity through plastic surgery, and that's what kind of like.
But I bet there's a lot. We just
You think there might be people? Yeah, you're right, because there's probably a lot of people that were wanted that just completely never got caught because they changed themselves to such a drastic nature that.
I mean, you could completely change your sex if you want to now.
That's true. I mean, that would be. I have yet to see a criminal do a gender
If they really
transition.
didn't want to get caught, I think that would be the way to do it.
I bet that's going to happen. Oh, man, when that happens, we're definitely going to have a show about it. I bet you anything that does happen. Although the problem is that process takes a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't they do that on, was it Tropic Thunder with Robert Downey Jr.? It was one of those movies.
Oh, where he had the blackface on?
He changed his ethnicity.
Oh my God.
Right. I know
We
what
talked
you're
about that because I recently watched that movie.
Had you never seen it?
Because I think it's hilarious.
Oh, it
but
is
the
so
thing
funny.
whenever it came out, everybody thought like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. is going to get so much crap about pretty much pretending to be a black guy.
At the time, no one cared.
No.
But now today, people like, I just saw an article talking about Tropic Thunder and the whole blackface thing, and people were just like, it was supposed to be funny, right? Like,
Yeah, parody. But
what do you think,
but
Provis?
most
I mean,
people-
you weigh in. You're the
Yeah, when I saw the movie, like I wasn't offended by it. Even
just
to this
thought
day.
it was silly.
Yeah, I'm still not offended by it because it was like it was a movie character, it was
Like,
a role.
I
It's a
think
spoof,
it
right?
was
Yeah.
it was because it was supposed to be offensive.
Right. It's like
it was-
remember that movie
it was-
Blazing
you're-
Saddles?
yeah, you're doing
like that
it
was just so
ironically.
terrible, like from back in the '80s. Like it was the same thing. Like it was. I mean, I guess to a certain, and not to get into like too far into this stuff because it's not really our like expertise. But I mean, it almost like it takes to where if you were doing something wrong, it's like making fun of it.
Yeah.
Like so, I don't.
Yeah,
know.
ironically.
Yeah, ironically, yeah.
Yeah.
How did we get on to Robert? Oh, because he changed his ethnicity.
Yes.
Right. You got to be careful about changing your ethnicity these days.
Yeah.
You can get in
Well, I
trouble.
mean, this guy did, but I guess it wasn't too big of like a.
Yeah. He wasn't too big of a swap.
Yeah. Too big of a leap.
Interesting. Oh, and so, all right. And I want to just kind of end this little segment on famous criminals who have changed their identity to avoid arrest or capture.
Yes.
So
I
I've
wanna
actually
see it.
known of
Are
a
you
couple.
I want to see those pictures.
Okay, so the first one is Amado Fuentes. Throw up his picture. And there he is right there. So Amado Fuentes was known as the Lord of the Skies. He was a Mexican drug lord and head of the Juarez cartel. And if you
Is he
ever...
a pilot?
Yes, he was. So he started out low in the cartel. I know this because I love those kind of like crime shows like that, like Narcos. Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah.
He's in Narcos. Well, not him really, but like his character.
Yeah.
Like the character is him.
Yeah.
So yeah, Amado Fuentes. So he was like a pilot for the cartel, and he ended up, I think, killing his boss, if I remember correctly. And so he became the new cartel. But there's two interesting parts to this. So he actually died in 1997 at the age of 40 while he was undergoing plastic surgery to change his identity. Like he was getting plastic surgery, he died on the table. There's some question of whether or not he was intentionally killed by the doctors, but he died. And there's two like interesting parts after that. One, at the time of his death, he was worth $25 billion. That's like $1990. So
That's a lot.
that's like $100 billion today.
Sheesh.
$25 billion was his net worth in 1997. And what's also interesting is that the two surgeons that operated on him were found 4 months later encased in concrete in metal drums.
She.
So yeah, don't operate on a
At all.
cartel
Yeah.
leader. If somebody came to me and I'm like, nope, not interested, man. Nope, not interested.
I am full.
I'm
this
good.
week,
Yeah,
actually.
I'm good until like 2050. So.
I'm all booked up.
So Amado Fuentes. All right, next is Tariq Aziz, who was the deputy prime minister of Iraq under Saddam Hussein. And it was rumored, I couldn't find any hard evidence, but I saw a lot of things that talked about how after the US invaded Iraq in 2003, that he had a rhinoplasty facelift and some other procedures to change his appearance because he was well known. He was like the face for Saddam Hussein for Iraq, and he was in the media all the time. So when the invasion came, he apparently had a bunch of plastic surgery to change his appearance, I guess to try and avoid capture. But he actually ended up turning himself in.
Oh.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, he turned himself in. I guess like the noose was like, you know, I mean, they
much
caught
stress.
everyone. Yeah.
He looks old, anyways.
He
He's
did.
probably like, ugh.
He's just like, I'm done. Yeah. He ended up dying in prison. Like they at first we were going to sentence him to death for some war crimes, but there was like
Probably was just like, oh, I have
die.
heart disease.
Yeah.
I'm just
He
gonna
ended
kill
up having a heart attack in prison. He had a bunch of
Yeah,
strokes.
I would too if I was a freaking murderer,
jail. Yeah.
terrorist person.
Okay, next. This one's really interesting. John Dillinger, public enemy number one.
Dang.
Famous
I know
bank.
him.
Huh?
I've heard of him.
Yeah, famous bank robber and national celebrity. Actually had plastic
He's
surgery.
cute for a.
He's a good-looking guy, right? Yeah. So he had plastic surgery to remove a mole that was very distinctive and to fill in his cleft chin and his dimples. And what's also interesting is the surgeon used, it's hard for me to believe this, used kangaroo tendons to fill in his cheeks, to make his cheeks puffier. Where did they get the kangaroos? I mean, there ain't no kangaroos in the United States. Did they import the kangaroos? Did they mail
They
order
probably
the
like broke into like a petting zoo and was like kangaroos. Yeah.
Or maybe
Criminal-
like, can you harvest the tendons? Like,
Criminal activity.
I don't know. So anyway, he had a bunch of surgery to change because he was like public enemy number one. Like
Yeah.
he was wanted, and everyone knew him. So he had all these surgeries to change his identity. His surgeon, incidentally, ended up getting arrested a few years later for distribution of cocaine and heroin.
Fun.
Yeah, so this guy was a little sketch. So the surgeon was a little sketchy. And John Dillinger ended up being gunned down in 1934 at the Biograph Theater in Chicago. The feds, like in the old days, like John Dillinger, Bonnie and Clyde, they just like murked him. Like they're like, oh, that person's there. Like we're not going to arrest you. We're just going to kill you. And that's what happened. They just gunned him down in Chicago. So public enemy number one. Anyway,
Back then there was like
no one's
evidence, things like that. It was
it's
just
it's like this guy is a problem. We're just going to get rid of him. Yeah. Nowadays, they probably would try to capture him. But interesting stuff, though, right? Even as late or early as the 1930s, people were using plastic surgery to evade capture and arrest.
Would you get plastic surgery to evade arrest?
I mean, I'm not sure what I would do in that situation. Maybe. I mean, if I was like a hardcore criminal, I mean, I can't see that like me like now in this life,
Yeah.
Like probably like I'm pretty good. Like I'm probably not.
If your life took it, would done a.
I mean, yeah, like a
different
Breaking Bad kind of situation.
Yeah.
Like maybe. Yeah. I mean, I think it's creative, honestly. I would change my ethnicity.
Let me ask you this: like, does it when you do change like your like face or whatever or your look? Does it change it like dramatically or like drastically to where you can't recognize that you were that previous person?
I mean, you could
Would
do
you
that.
be able to look at like, for example, Madonna? Would you like if you saw?
You would never think that was
Madonna in the '80s. Like Madonna comes into your house, and then Madonna now coming in your house, walking in at the same time. Two different people.
I mean, I think that and I don't even do a ton of facial stuff, but like I have this skill set that if somebody came and said, look, I want to look like a completely different person, I don't really care what that person looks like, but I just don't want to look like
I don't
recognizable.
want to be myself anymore.
I don't want to be recognizable.
Yeah.
I could do that. You could do, things to the nose, you could do facelifts, you could change the ear shape.
Really?
You could add, implants to the jaw.
Your hairline too, apparently.
Hairline, you could add hair, take away hair. I mean,
Wow.
I could easily make, I mean, that's not my area of expertise, like I'm more of a breast and body guy, but I could physically do it, without question.
Golly.
But I just wouldn't want to get, I'm not saying I'm a death, so please,
this is not
no
an
cartel
ad.
leaders show up in my office.
This is not an ad.
This is not an ad, but is it possible? Yeah, sure, it's possible. So
Nice.
cool stuff. All right, moving on to a segment that got me a little. I'm gonna get on my soapbox, so guys, get ready.
Okay.
All right, so this segment is: does running make you age faster? And the reason,
Running.
Yeah, running.
Oh.
It's weird, right?
Maybe your knees.
Well, you're right.
Joints.
You're getting there. Okay, so the reason this topic was brought up is because in the news this past week, Gerald Imber, an 82-year-old plastic surgeon in New York, was in the news because he had a viral TikTok that talked about he believes that running makes you age faster. So I uploaded the video, Travis will see it. That was
Hi, it's Dr. Imber. We're talking about things that prevent aging versus things that accelerate aging. And I have a pet peeve, and half my patients love me for it and half my patients hate me for it, but it's about running. And it's perfectly fine to run a little bit every day or run a couple of miles a few times a week, but I want to start this little talk by saying, have you ever seen a long distance, long time runner that didn't have a gaunt old face? That's what happens. In addition to the gaunt old face, your knees go, your ankles go, your back goes, and it's kind of dumb. So if you want to run a little bit, terrific, but no impact or low impact aerobics is really the way to get your exercise.
Yeah.
I agree with him.
What? Oh my God.
I hate running.
Okay, well that's
Two,
one thing.
He seems funny.
I mean, he seems
I just
funny like your
remember
old
what did he-
pawpaw that sits
Yeah.
on the porch and tells kids to get off
just
the
goes,
lawn,
"It's-"
not like your dog.
He just goes,
master.
it's dumb.
It's dumb. So, all right. First off, if I'm still operating at 82, like I give you permission to put me
Yeah,
down.
I mean,
like,
honestly, he doesn't look that bad for 82.
I mean, he does. He looks pretty good. I mean, he's kind of nice too. Like I feel
Like, he's
I'm gonna
definitely
like kind of
older.
like be a little critical, and I feel bad. I feel like I'm being critical to my pawpaw, you know,
Yeah.
like talking trash about him, you know. And they do, you know, commercial pilots you can only go to 65. I wonder if maybe should we like implement that for surgeons? I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, I wonder if he still practices like actually.
actual surgery.
Yeah, or if he's just
I wonder
like,
that too.
or
'cause
if
that's
he's just still like more of a
like running the med spa or something. You know, I mean,
like just
maybe.
a figurehead.
No, I think he does still do surgery. I would probably pass on that personally. No offense. Seems like
I'd
a
run.
super nice guy.
I'd run.
Okay, but I have some serious like beef with like that whole spiel that he just gave. Like for one, I was a runner. I'm not currently in my running phase, but there have been times where I do like triathlons, do like long distance running, half marathons. I never actually ran a marathon because I just never had the time to train for it.
Right.
'Cause you have to have a lot of time. So I got beef with you, Dr. Ember, and we're gonna like sort this out. Okay. So first off, is he correct? Does running make you age faster? And the answer is obviously no, it does not. That is just total nonsense. But there are some aspects of running that could make you look older if taken to an extreme. And so I want to explain in detail what he probably should have said instead of running makes you look more aged. Okay, so first off, remember when we talked about buccal fat removal? Sarah, I'm gonna make you look really smart. Remember when we talked about buccal fat removal?
For sure.
And why do people look older?
Because they lose their fat right here.
Okay, so what happens if you are a insane exerciser and your body fat goes to 0?
Do you lose fat in your face?
And
what?
you look older.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Okay. That's what he was trying to get at. The fact that he's talking about that a lot of long distance runners end up dropping their body fat down to like extremely low numbers. And what happens? You start to lose the fat in your face, and yes, that will make you look older. But is that from running or is that from exercise?
Probably from diet too.
Well, I'm just saying that,
sure.
like, is it specific to running? Or, for example, what if I was a biker and I biked 100 miles a day and I burned the same calories as I burn running?
Maybe he's talking, like, whenever I think about running, maybe he's talking about, like, whenever you're, like, the force from,
Okay,
like,
we'll
the
get
up
to
and
that.
down.
No, but he was talking about how
Like
you
your-
look old in your face, right? Or do you
Yeah.
think he's talking about, like, with the gravity is doing that when you run? That's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's just total nonsense. What he's trying to get to is that a lot of long distance runners get very lean, and when you do get very lean, it does make you look
Yeah.
older. But the thing is that it's not just running. Like you could get that same thing from like getting on a row machine and just rowing an extreme
Yeah.
amount,
And
or
honestly, being outside a lot. When
that's
you're outside,
my next part. Okay, so
sun
that's
exposure.
That's my second thing. Yeah, you're smart. You should write these segments for me. Because the first thing was about being thin, and the second is about sun exposure,
Yeah.
right? Because if you're out there running 10 miles a day, to run 10 miles, that's going to take you an hour or longer.
Yeah.
A little bit longer. And you are going to have some sun exposure. But once again, is it the running that's causing that, or is it the sun exposure? It's the sun exposure. The running has nothing to do with
Yeah.
it. If I sit in a lawn chair and drink beer for an hour and a half every single day in my yard, I'm going to get the same sun exposure as if I was running.
Yeah.
So it's not the running, it's the sun exposure.
Yeah.
So you could get that from anything. And so so we'll do the last thing. All right, so the last one is the same thing you said, joint issues.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's not really about like looking older, that's more about feeling older,
Yeah.
okay? And this is probably the only one where you could kind of make a point that, okay, he's got a point that running is not the easiest thing to do on your body.
Excessive running.
Yeah, excessive running. You can get joint. So I've spent my whole life playing sports, football, baseball, soccer, ice hockey, running, all that stuff. And so my joints are a little beat at this point. And so I have to be careful about like sprinting, and I have to be careful about super long running because my knee starts to bother me because it's impact. If I was riding a bike, I wouldn't have that.
Right.
So, there's a kernel of truth in this maelstrom of nonsense that, your joints do take a little bit of beating with a high impact sport. But I mean, once again, it's not just running. It could be soccer, it could be football, it could be basketball. I mean, it's not necessarily running.
Yeah.
So this is a classic case of, correlation, not causation, okay? So the last thing I would kind of say about this is, okay, well, all right, so I'm a runner and I want to prevent looking older or messing up my joints. What can I do? And so these are things I would recommend. All right, number one, don't let your body fat get down to an extreme amount. I mean, you can absolutely run and be an active runner and not let your body fat get to a point where you start to get hollowed out in your face. I mean, you do have to kind of watch your diet and watch, how much calories you're intaking versus your expenditure. But I mean, when I was doing long distance running, I didn't feel like I looked like gaunt. I mean, I was thin, I was lean, but I didn't look old because I didn't take it to that extreme. And I have seen people that do, so you do have to kind of watch that. But once again, it's not the running, it's the exercise. You could get the same thing from doing rowing or whatever. As far as sun exposure, a couple things you can do: run in the morning, run in the evening when the sun's not that bright. That makes a big difference.
For sure.
Also, sunscreen. I mean, Dr. Ember doesn't know about sunscreen, but yeah, I mean, put some sunscreen on before you go run.
Like hats. There's like
hats. I don't personally like to run a hat, but yeah, you could wear hats.
And then there's like the long sleeve, like moisture wickening apparel that you can wear.
For
like
sure.
Long sleeve stuff.
As far as joint issues go, I mean, you could be a pretty good runner and not mess up your joints. You want to have good footwear. Be cognizant of where you run. You don't want to slip and do any joint injuries by twisting your ankle, and avoid other sports. Like my running issues are not from running; it's from the injuries I took in like football and soccer. Like they messed up my knees, and so that's why they hurt, not because of the running.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Dr. Ember's very sweet. I mean, he's very charming to look at. I mean, if I needed advice on a Civil War cannonball injury, I'd probably call him, but I'm not taking his advice on running.
Or how to put an implant in a cannonball.
Exactly.
A cannon.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, and I'm kind of like a little annoyed because like that. I mean, that became a national news thing, right? So like people that aren't looking at the article just look at this thing and say, oh well, running makes me look older. Forget that. I'm not going to run.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like misinformation, which bugs me a little bit. But I mean, he probably didn't mean it to be like that. He just makes a TikTok, right? Just like he probably made it as a joke. I mean, I can't believe that he really believes that. Although he did seem like he believed it. Dr. Ember,
I don't know.
Give us an update. Do you really believe that running makes you look more aged?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think anything excessive is bad, so.
Boom.
It's
Boom.
whatever.
Sarah, bring in the hard truth.
So I say it all the time, I feel like.
Yeah.
Everything in balance.
Even water is poisonous if you drink too much of it. Oxygen.
I was telling my daughter that. She's like, is eating candy bad for you? And I said, no. She goes, but why do you I can't eat too much candy. And I'm like, well, because if you eat too much candy, bad things can happen. I was like, if you eat too much broccoli, bad things can happen.
Drink too much water. There was a girl who died from chugging water trying to win a PlayStation or something. I mean, it's not funny, but I mean, oxygen is toxic if you have too much oxygen.
Yeah.
Everything's bad for you. All right.
But not.
But running's okay. All right, moving on. So we got another celebrity plastic surgery. Did you hear about it? Bette Midler hit the news this week. Bette Midler revealing,
Hocus pocus.
Huh?
She's hocus pocus. She's a witch.
Exactly. Well,
I could not for the life of me think of it. I thought it was Halloween Town. Hocus Pocus.
I love Halloween Town.
there was like the original Hocus Pocus, and now there's like a remake of Hocus.
I saw it.
Yeah, did you? I missed the remake.
It's cute.
Is it?
If you like Hocus Pocus, then yes.
Not, the biggest fan, but yeah.
It's
all right, so 77-year-old iconic singer, actress, and comedian Bette Midler was in the news this past week because at the Costume Designers Guild Award, during a acceptance speech, she admitted to having plastic surgery. So
Yeah.
yeah, She did. She's
She looks.
77.
I mean, yeah, she looks like she's had plastic surgery a few times.
Okay,
in her
so
life.
right, so it's been, and I'm not like a Bette Midler super fan. I do appreciate her talent,
Yeah.
but there's been a lot of talk over the last couple decades of has Bette Midler had plastic surgery, and she's never said anything about it. And so, so it was kind of interesting that she finally said, okay, yes, I've had some plastic surgery in the speculation. She didn't go into a lot of details, and so we can speculate at the end here. But like we did for Madonna, I want to pull up a timeline of Bette Midler.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at it. So let's see that first picture. Bette Midler, 1979, age 34. Looks like someone that's
Youthful.
34. Yeah, youthful. All right. See the next one. So this is 1985, age 40.
Look at that. Look at that rouge.
That's some serious rouge.
Blush.
Yeah, big time. Matched her hair. 1993,
Aw, she
age
looks
48.
pretty.
Okay, so she is starting to look a little bit older here. I think that she looks her age for sure.
She's definitely looks better as a blonde.
I would agree with that too. All right. Now, age 57 in 2002. Now, I think she looks
looks
younger
good.
there. She looks younger there than she did in the previous picture of 1993 at age 48, 9 years previously. So I think that, yes, she probably had she had something done in between those pictures. I can't imagine she didn't. All right,
Yes.
2010, age 65. She still looks great.
Yeah.
Still looks great. But you know what I would say? She still looks like Bette Midler.
Yeah.
All right, move forward to 2023, age 77. She still looks awesome. She still looks like Bette Midler. I think that without question, she's had work done, probably a couple of things along the way. I think that the kind of take home here is not, oh, Bette Midler had plastic surgery and that's a big deal. A lot of people have plastic surgery.
Yeah.
I think if you want to learn something about this little segment, it's that she's had good plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Because for one, people weren't 100% sure, that she'd had it, right? I mean, I pretty confident she did based on the pictures from 93 to 2002. I mean, as a plastic surgeon, I'd be like, yeah, she's probably had some work done. I mean, it looks like without question, she's had something done.
Yeah.
But even then, you're still kind of speculating. It's like, did she have a facelift? Or did she have a bunch of, lasers or whatnot? But I think overall, the quality of her work is good because she looks like herself, but she looks youthful, and she doesn't, look unusual at all.
Yeah, it looks
It's natural.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's natural plastic surgery.
Not
She still looks like
excessive.
herself. It's not excessive. And so I really think that is kind of the most important thing about this. It's not, oh, celebrities have plastic surgery, big deal. I mean, so what? They're people too. Go get plastic surgery. It's fine. But she had good plastic surgery because I want to throw up one last picture, and that is a side-by-side of Bette Midler at 65 and Madonna at 64, okay? I mean, to me, if I ask you, Sarah, which one looks better?
Bette Midler.
I mean, obviously, right? I mean, you're going to say that because it looks like Bette Midler. It doesn't look unusual. And I think that this is a difference between good plastic surgery and bad plastic surgery.
Every time I see her, she just looks like a Bratz doll.
Oh, Madonna?
Yes.
Yeah. So the person on the right is Madonna, for those that haven't seen the last couple episodes. We can't stop talking about Madonna, which I think is her whole goal here.
Yeah.
But the last thing I'd say about these two is I love Bette Midler. I don't mean this in a negative way whatsoever, but if you showed me a picture of 25-year-old Madonna and 25-year-old Bette Midler and said, which one do you think is more attractive?
Yeah, Madonna.
I would 100% say Madonna. I loved Madonna back in the 80s. I thought she was beautiful. But now you show me this picture of 64-year-old Madonna and 65-year-old Bette Midler and say which one looks better. It's like Bette Midler looks better hands down. It's like Madonna went too far. And I don't know why we can't stop talking about Madonna. We have a problem. But she is being talked about.
Yeah.
But Bette Midler, though, she looks sharp. I think she looks great. That's the kind of plastic surgery that I think.
She is the example.
She is the example. Yes. Excellent. I love it. Travis, weigh in. What do you think?
She'll always be hocus pocus to me.
Yeah. What's her
Travis
name
is
on
hung up on
Hocus
Hocus Pocus.
Pocus?
I don't know. I don't even remember
Why do
the
I
name
not
of the
remember
movie.
this?
I know she was the main witch, though.
I think she's the
Dr.
main
Herman,
witch,
I
right.
took offense when you said it was okay. It was a great movie.
I'm sorry, man.
That was a great movie from my childhood.
Why do we not remember her name?
I don't remember her name.
I'm trying to think of what.
What's a famous witch name? Like Matilda?
No.
No, not famous.
Hocus. Okay, what was? Because Sarah Jessica Parker's in it too.
Yes, young Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
This is from the 80s, right? Or
No,
is
it's
it
from the
90s?
90s.
Oh, it is from the 90s.
Maybe early 2000s.
No, 90s.
99.
What?
90-something. It's old, but it's
Her
from
name
The
was
90s?
Winfred.
Winnie.
Winfred.
They called her Winnie.
Winnie, yeah, Winfred. That was her full name.
Oh man, I'm glad we got that. So, now, Troubles, did you like the second movie? Did you see this?
I didn't see the second one.
And?
I didn't
Well,
see
it's
the
only
second
on
one.
Disney Plus.
Oh, you didn't
Oh,
see
was
it?
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what movie? I mean, I know we're totally off topic here, but you know what? The witch movie that I liked was the one where it was like the young girls and Neve Campbell was in it, and they were like bad witches. They were like in high school and they became witches, and like they would torture the other kids with like witchcraft. Like Neve Campbell was in it, and oh man, what's that girl that she was in The Water Boy? She's kind of like unusual, like almost kind of.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
What was the
know
name of
her.
that movie? It was Witchcraft? No. Damn, I can't. I'm sorry.
I know what movie you're talking about because my sister's.
And it was a
watched
redheaded girl in it. It was a redhead, Neve Campbell, and then the girl whose name is like Bianca something.
Yeah, I know
I've
what you're
not
talking about.
seen this movie.
It's about witches, and it's kind of dark. Like it's like not a happy witch movie.
Yeah, Hocus Pocus is a Disney movie, so.
Oh, it's Disney. I'm gonna remember the name of this movie. I'm gonna next segment we're gonna talk about
Was it The Craft?
The Craft. That's it. Yes, you nailed it.
I'm
Yeah.
a genius.
He's
That's
got a
what it is.
computer back there.
No,
I
no,
know,
no,
he's
no.
got
This is a computer in my brain.
He's talking to ChatGPT. What's the movie about the witches?
I tried to get an account with them and they're closed. All
What?
booked up, bro. All booked up.
Oh my God! I got
Can't
some
give
chat.
them. I'm on a wait
Dude,
list.
I have some more. Dude, I have some more chat. I've been like really like working with ChatGPT lately. Like we've become friends.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
weird.
It is weird. I think that's all we got today. We've like hit all the topics.
Absolutely.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Leave us a comment. Leave a subscription. We'll see you next week.